Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. Um, just sitting here out on a balcony here in Fort Lauderdale as I took a few days to just relax and unwind and spend time with the Lord. And I just want to share a word with you today to end the year on and hopefully encourage you as we head into 2017. And the two words I really want to focus on and talk about is trusting God. Um, and I'm going to share one of my favorite passages and one of my life verses that I have really hung on to in my time of knowing the Lord since May of 2009. And it's a very familiar passage. I know we've all heard it, quoted it. It's in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, and it quotes, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Um, you know, I think about, trusting God. And I guess, I think we all at some point have said it, we trust God. But what does that really mean? To really, really trust him. And, I think about my first time that I really trusted God was when I trusted him with my salvation. Um, I don't think any of us question that. I know, at least I don't. I know for a fact, and I'm convinced that when I take my last breath, that I'm going to heaven. There's no question about it. But you know what the amazing thing is? If so many of us do believe that, and we have faith and we trust God in that our salvation. But if we trust him in something like that, something that is as the most important decision we'll ever make, why don't we trust him more in our everyday lives? And that's something that I really want to encourage you with going forward, to really, really trust him. Not just say you trust him, and that means trusting him in the tough times too. Because let's be honest, we've all probably went through some times. Maybe this year wasn't a very good year for you. A lot of your desires of your heart were filled, and you went through a lot of trials and tribulations and storms, and you're on your knees crying a lot and just asking God why, and things have not changed. But that's when we really got to trust God, guys. That's when He really wants to see our faith and trust is in Him, and not in our circumstances or the things of this world. Um, I look at this and this passage, and trust in the Lord with all your heart. I think the second part of it is the part that we all struggle with, is leaning on our own understanding, guys. I mean, our understanding is flawed. It reminds me of one of my other favorite passages where God's thoughts and ways are so much higher than ours. Um, we, in our finite minds, can't figure out what God is doing every day and every minute, and when we try to, it just doesn't. It doesn't help, to be honest with you. It doesn't, because what He thinks is completely different the way we think something should turn out and when it should turn out. That's the other thing that I want to focus on, Lord, is trusting the Lord. Is timing. Um, as we end this year, as like I said, maybe you went through it's been an awful year for you, but guess what? God has gotten you to this point right now. His faithfulness has been there to meet all your needs, and get you to this point where you are. And like I said, it may not be where you want it to be. Your desires of your heart have not been fulfilled. I have some desires that I have not. God has not fulfilled the desires of my heart yet. But you know what? I still trust Him. I completely believe wholeheartedly that in His perfect timing, He's gonna give me the desires of my heart in the areas that I have been, waiting for, and I know they line up with His desires, but His timing is just completely different. So I really just want to encourage you, starting today and moving forward every day. I really want you to focus on, and to really trust Him, we have to surrender, and it's all about surrendering everything to the Lord. And I know sometimes I deal with a lot of people that are just holding on to some areas of their life. Maybe it's finances, or maybe it's relationships, that they're hoping for, but they say, no, I can't trust God with that. I got to do it myself. And I just want to encourage you guys to just release it all to Him. Every bit of your life, every single bit of it. I mean, you're talking your finances, spiritually, physically, your children, people you're praying for that are not saved, wayward children, whatever it may be. Surrender it all. Give it all to Him right now. And don't take it back. I promise you, don't take it back, because it won't get you anywhere. You'll just fret, you'll worry, you'll be anxious, all those things. Just give it to Him and just continue to serve Him. That's what I have done in my waiting. Obviously, you guys know, a lot of you know that I'm single. I've been single since 7.5 years I came to the Lord. And of course, again, I know He made me a promise back then. But again, my timing surely doesn't line up with His timing. Of course, I thought it would all happen real quickly. But you know what? It hasn't. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, my singleness is a great time. It's been a time for me to really press into God, to get to know Him more intimately, and do the work that He has called me to do right now. We all are called to serve and glorify God. That's what He wants us to do. And we got to trust Him that all the things will work out in His perfect timing. It may not look like we wanted it to look like, or definitely not in our timeline, but trust Him, guys. Trust Him. You trust Him with your salvation. Trust Him with every part of your life. He wants to do amazing things in and through you. He wants to bless you beyond measure. Now, that blessing does not mean it's always going to be financially. Yes, God can bless us financially, but He wants to bless us so many other ways. I mean, just the fact that you could share something with someone who needs to hear a word from Him. That to me is a greater blessing than any financial blessing I could ever get. So there's so many things God wants to do in this new year with you. He wants to bless you. He wants to use you. Be open to that, guys. Give it all to Him. Say, God, use me. Bloom where I'm planted. That's what I always tell myself. Bloom where I'm planted. I'm right now. This is where God has me in my life, and I'm going to bloom where I'm planted. I'm going to be serving Him, glorifying Him, being used by Him. I want to do everything that I can to fulfill the plan and purpose He has for my life, and use the gifts that I have. I mean, obviously, He's given me some amazing gifts that I couldn't. Without Him, I wouldn't have any of these. I couldn't do any of these things that I'm doing right now. And He's given you gifts too. Maybe it isn't the same gifts that I have, but He's given you gifts. Pray to Him. Ask Him to open your eyes to those gifts and be used by Him. And just trust Him with everything else. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're hoping and praying for, just trust Him. Trust Him. That's where faith comes in. The Bible says that we walk by faith, not by sight, not what we could see in our circumstances. We walk by faith. And He's going to take you to a new level. I'm telling you right now, if you surrender everything, God is going to take you to an amazing new level. He did it with me. He'll do it with you. He has an amazing plan for each and every one of His children. There's nothing greater than being used by God. There is absolutely nothing. I wouldn't trade it for anything in my life right now. It is knowing that I'm being used by Him to help other people and encourage other people. And I want you guys to have that same amazing, abundant life that Jesus talked about when he was preaching. That He wants us to have the abundant life. And that abundant life is all about using our gifts, serving and glorifying God, and trusting Him completely with every area of our life. Well, guys, I just hope and pray that whatever you had in the past is gone. Let it go. We look forward. We don't look backwards, guys. And let God use you, because He wants to use you. Just trust Him completely, with every part of your heart. And like the Bible verse says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. And please, let me just encourage you not to lean on your own understanding. Our understanding doesn't work. And acknowledge Him, and He will direct your paths, and it will be something amazing. Well, Happy New Year. I love you guys. I'm praying for you. If I could be of any help or encouragement to you, please either send a message here or a personal message. And let's go to this 2017 encouraged, knowing that God is going to do amazing things in and through us. Love you guys.